You know, if you live in an older home, you absolutely love the character, right? But what if I told you that behind those charming walls, there might be a pretty serious fire hazard lurking? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on an outdated piece of electrical tech that could be putting your home and your family at risk.
So let's just cut right to the chase with the big question. Is the very heart of your home's electrical system a fire risk? By the end of this, you'll not only know how to answer that question for your own home, but you'll know exactly what to do about it.
All right, let's identify this hidden hazard. We're going to be talking about something called a split bus electrical panel, and we are going to break down precisely what that is and, more importantly, why it's a major safety concern today. So, what exactly is a split bus panel? Well, to put it simply, it's an old school design that's missing one absolutely critical feature: a single main breaker to shut off all of the power. Instead, it divides everything into groups. That means in an emergency, there's no single switch to kill the power to the house. You have to hunt around and flip multiple breakers, wasting seconds you just don't have. And really, the biggest clue is going to be the age of your house. As you can see here, these panels were super common in homes built from the 1950s all the way through the 70s. They were eventually phased out in the mid-80s as safety codes got smarter. So if your house was built back then and you know it hasn't had a major electrical upgrade, you really, really need to be listening up. Okay, now for the really crucial part. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the dangers. Why is this old design considered such a huge risk today? Honestly, the number one flaw, the thing that makes this whole setup so risky, comes down to its most basic design choice. There is no single off switch. Think about it. In an emergency, say a kitchen fire or a major electrical problem, you want to kill all the power to the house instantly. With these old panels, you just can't. And this slide, wow, it just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got this chaotic situation where you might have to frantically flip up to 6 different breakers to cut the power. That confusion is the last thing you want when things are going wrong. On the right, you see the modern standard. One big switch. Click. All the power is off. It's fast, it's simple, and it's safe. And here's the thing. These risks don't exist in a vacuum. They all feed into each other. You see, you get system overload, which leads to overheating. The sheer age of the thing leads to parts just failing. And all of that, well, it creates huge problems with modern safety codes and can even make it tough to get home insurance. Each problem just makes the others worse. And at the heart of all this is a simple number. We're talking about components that are often more than 40 years old. Think about that. They are way, way past their expected functional lifespan. So let's really dig into how that age translates directly into a fire risk. First, after decades of use, those old breakers can just stop working. They might not trip when they're supposed to during a power surge. The metal parts inside corrode and break down. And when you dump all the power demands of our modern gadgets onto these old, tired parts, they start to overheat. That can lead to something called arcing. That's when electricity literally jumps across a gap, creating a super hot spark that can easily set your walls on fire. And that really brings us to the whole capacity issue. Look, these panels were designed for the 1960s, right? A time with maybe one TV, a few lamps, and a refrigerator. They were not built for a world with giant HVAC systems, a computer in every room, multiple big screen TVs, and definitely not for charging an electric car. It's like trying to run a super highway's worth of traffic down a little country lane. It's just dangerously easy to overload them. Okay, so how do you actually spot the trouble yourself? The good news is there are some really clear warning signs you can look for, listen for, and even feel. This checklist here is your go-to guide. Are your lights flickering or dimming a lot? That could mean your whole system is overloaded. Go and put your hand near the panel. Is it warm to the touch? That is a huge red flag for dangerous overheating. And if you ever hear buzzing or crackling sounds coming from it, that's a sign of electrical arcing, and you need to take that very seriously. Don't just write these things off. It's your house trying to tell you something is very wrong. And look, this isn't just me saying this. This is the official view from the pros. Jurisdictions all over consider these split bus panels to be totally obsolete. Home inspectors flag them immediately, and insurance companies, they see them as a major liability. So even if it was technically legal when it was installed 50 years ago, it is not up to today's safety standards. Not even close. All right, so we've talked a lot about the problem and the dangers, but now for the good news. There is a clear, modern, and totally safe solution. So let's talk about what a proper upgrade actually looks like. This is what's so great. A modern panel upgrade doesn't just patch one problem, it fixes all of them. That lack of a main breaker? Solved. You get one big, easy-to-use switch. The insufficient capacity? Solved. The new panel is sized correctly for all your modern stuff. And those old failing breakers? They get replaced with amazing modern tech like AFCI and GFCI breakers that actively protect against fires and electric shocks. It's a top-to-bottom solution that brings your home's safety into the 21st century.
So what's your path forward? Let's lay out a super simple action plan to get you from having this potential hazard in your wall to having a safe, modern electrical system you don't have to worry about. Okay, here's your 3-step action plan, and step 1 is the most important. Call a professional. Get a licensed electrician to come out and inspect your panel. Please do not try to poke around in there yourself. Step 2, make sure any replacement work is done with the proper permits and inspections. This is absolutely non-negotiable. It's for your safety, and it's the law. And finally, step 3, keep all the paperwork. Save the inspection reports, the permits, the final sign-off. You'll want all of that for your insurance and for when you eventually sell your home. And it's really important to think about this the right way. Yeah, there's a cost. But this isn't just an expense, it's an investment. First and foremost, it's an investment in the safety of your home and your family. But you know what? It's also a smart financial move. It often adds to your home's resale value because it gets rid of a huge red flag for any potential buyer. So let's just end with this final thought. That 40-year-old panel, it's done its job. It served its time. The real question you have to ask yourself now is your home's electrical system safe, compliant, and truly ready for the demands of the next 40 years?